5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PCM number 2. That is Frank's commentating marathon number 2. We're going to start this off in the Pro League with Woongjin Stars versus ROKAF. We're going to have MVP representing Woongjin Stars and Cloud representing ROKAF. Royal Korean Air Force something or other. Anyways, in the yellow, the Terran player here, we have MVP. And in the bottom right hand, we have the other Terran player in red. That's going to be Cloud. So, yeah, this is not going to be, I think, a spectacular game by any means. It's going to be a TVT, which most people don't like, but I, in fact, do enjoy watching because I watched this one game, Boxer versus Flash. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it was pretty epic. So that kind of ingrained in my mind that TVTs can be epic. However, with the build orders today, it's kind of gotten a little bit bland, a little bit boring. All that vulture play early on and whatnot. But anyways, they're going to be playing on the map Moonglaive, which is one of those newer maps that they have in the Pro League. You know, I think they've actually completely gotten rid of all of the older maps, the Pythons, the Destinations. I don't even think they use those in any leagues, let alone the Pro Leagues. So Pro Leagues, of course, I think get updated before the individual leagues because I think they want to play the new maps in some kind of league where it's not as prestigious and you're not, you know, players aren't gonna complain if the map has too much of an advantage. It's got to be tried, tested, and true, and I think the Pro League is the place to do it. So anyways, both of these players, back to the game here, both of these players going for standard, supply depot, racks, into gas. Yeah, it's not... It's going to be pretty typical, I have to say, especially with these two players specifically going at it. MVP and Cloud, I don't necessarily see them being, like I said in the beginning of the match, that great of players. We do see 3 SCVs on gas for MVP. He could be looking to go for early machine shop or something like that. Yeah, or just both players just going for that really quick factory. However, I do have to say that they probably are going to go for something relatively aggressive. Usually when you're a somewhat no-name player, you want to go for something standard, and standard TVT, I would have to say, is the one fac into expand build. But you never know. I think both these guys might go for something tricky, maybe, well, not necessarily tricky, just aggressive. A lot of vultures, probably, maybe even 3 fac vultures, something just crazy like that. Or not. Both players, I think, have pulled SCVs off of gas. You know, I really can't predict these kind of things. It's TVT. It's not going to be that great. I'm going to try to build this up as best I can for you guys, but I really don't think that this is going to be anything spectacular. However, we do see a little bit of variance, I think. Yeah, we do see Cloud has pulled 2 SCVs off of gas, whereas MVP has kept them on gas. So we might be seeing MVP going for something more aggressive, and we do see also that MVP has lifted off his racks, is going to send it in for the scout because both players have blocked off. Oh, there we see the starport, but both players have blocked off the ramp, so no scout has gone off. 1 vulture being produced for MVP, and MVP is going for a starport, so he is going to be going for a Wraith build, whereas on the other side of things we see Cloud going for a fast command center on top of his ramp there, so playing a little bit defensive, a little bit protective, going to be going for that fast command center, going for that fast expand build, and really wanting to block off his choke here with his Cloud, seeing that vulture coming in. So I do think, though, that with that SCV able to scout the top of that ramp, he's going to be able to push in here. Some nice micro going off here for MVP, and he's just got to kill off this last SCV, and now he's going to have free reign over this base. However, there is something producing at that factory. I think there wasn't something producing until just when that vulture breached the top of that ramp, so it's going to be a little while yet before any units are produced to defend against this single vulture, which is just wreaking havoc. He's got 5 kills already, 2 of them being Marines, so he's got 3 SCV kills, and now a tank is out. So tank was producing before that vulture got to the top of that ramp. Cloaked now being researched for MVP, so MVP having a little bit of an early advantage, especially with his opponent going for an economic build. He's going to be set behind quite a bit. That command center not really going to be coming into effect. I think what what Cloud is going to want to do here is produce a couple SCVs out of that command center before he lifts off and plants it down, because or perhaps not, but he really wants to rebuild those SCVs that he did lose. And we might see a race here to land where that command center wants to go. No, the barracks just going to float into the base here. I think he was considering it, but not anymore. So now we have 4 attacking units out on the field, finally, 4 MVP. He's got 1 Wraith, 2 Marines, and a tank. So I think he's going to be looking to make a little bit of a harassment attempt here with this Wraith. Coming across the field now, he's going to try to pick off as many SCVs as he can. Yeah, and that armory is going up now, so he's going to really have to take down that SCV and any SCVs that want to produce that armory. And that is really an effective way to get kills, because the Wraith really doesn't even have to move. He's just got to sit over top of that armory and just wait for the kills to rack up. And Cloak now is upgraded for a single Wraith. I don't know if necessarily that's worth it, but either way, he's got Cloak up. He's not going to be able to be harassed. He's not going to be able to have that Wraith taken down for quite some time, probably before or just after cloaking is done. However, we do he's going to need to get a lot done with this Wraith harass here. The command center was up quite a bit before his own command center was even planted, so a lot more SCVs are going to be produced here. That academy is going to try to go up, and now these Wraiths are going to be picking off all these SCVs, trying to finish off this academy. And they are getting quite a few kills. I do have to commend him for this much. He's getting quite a bit of kills, and it's still going to be a while. Even after that academy goes up, he's going to have to plant down those scanners, and get the scan off at an appropriate location where he's going to be able to pick off those Wraiths handily. But I do not think that's going to be the case. Yeah, he's going to run away here before even the just before the Cloak runs out. So yeah, 2 Wraiths without Cloak just roaming the field. Goliaths are now out as well. 4 tanks and 2 Marines versus 3 tanks and 2 Goliaths. So I don't know, it's going to be a little bit of a micro fight here. These Wraiths just taking shots where they can, just trying to do that little bit of damage on those tanks, so perhaps he can gain the advantage, get maybe an extra kill on one of those tanks. And he's taking up the side ramp here. This map does have a lot of tricky entrances into your natural. There's 2 ramps down and 2 low ground entrances. So yeah, 1 Marine getting picked off there. I'd have to say that was pretty you know, it was alright micro on Cloud's behalf there, just sending out that Marine just to see, just in case those tanks were coming off the side there, and which they were. So decent micro, I'd have to say, just getting the scout off there. 2 SCVs roaming across the field here for MVP. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with those. Now the Wraiths are coming in for some more harass here. I do not think, however, that the Cloak was worth it on those Wraiths. I mean, it is a TVT, and you can be a little bit more, I guess, tricky. You can spend money where you can spend money, just kind of waste money away, whereas in other matchups you really can't. You can spend it on just little luxuries like Cloak and things like that, but I really don't think it's worth it for just 2 Wraiths, and 1 Wraith is getting picked off there, trying to harass that, trying to get rid of that barracks, rather. He's going to have to bring in his own barracks. He floated it away, MVP did. He floated it away to the top right of the map, trying to run away from that single Goliath. And so he's not going to have the scout, he's not going to have the spot, rather, on those tanks for quite some time. Maybe he's going to look to get an engineering bay, maybe a science facility, something like that. And those two SCVs that MVP sent out earlier, I think they were to possibly get some kind of scout, maybe to build some turrets out in the field. But he really didn't get anything done with them. He just ran them right into the forces of Cloud. And now sieging up MVP, just killing off a couple of tanks. Yeah, killing off 3 tanks, I think, and getting a lot of hits off on some of those units. 2 hits on that one tank, 1 hit on the other tank, and another hit on that Goliath, as well as some splash damage. So those units are going to be badly damaged here. 4 factories now up with 2 machine shops for Cloud. So he's going to start going into macro mode, and it's really coming down to micro now. I really think that Cloud had the economic advantage in a huge way at the beginning of this match, and now he's just kind of sifting it away, just giving it up to MVP at this point, just losing those units. That economic advantage was really just to outproduce for that short period of time MVP, so it's really not working to his advantage, though. He's slipping on his micro and he's losing units, whereas MVP, I don't think, has lost a single tank. So I don't know what he can possibly do at this point. Perhaps he's just going to have that advantage with the barracks on that spot, and he can just inch up like pro Terrans do these days, and just kind of slowly inch his way up and get that first hit off, that first hit advantage. However, even with that technique, I really don't think that it's going to be that effective. Now losing some vultures here, losing 2 vultures for MVP. MVP going for that third base now. He is getting his third base up earlier than Cloud, so if he does establish this base and he gets it up and running, I do think that he's going to have a pretty sizable advantage, and now MVP is getting up his third